We are going the distance in this series. All right, EDG, you came to play. I didn't think that they were going to pull out rounds like that, Bren and Sideshow, but I'm really, really glad we saw it.
I believe. I mean, Kang.
Wait, now you believe?
No, I mean, Kang has literally pulled out rounds like that every time he's been at a global event. Like, the level of that guy has never been under doubt, I feel, right? You always know that Kang is going to be able to perform, and that to me is making it so good that you see the rest of the team also level that up. I know that Kang dominated, but to me, when I'm looking at the MVP graphic, it's actually Smoggy that jumps out. Because Smoggy was also their highest rated player by VLR on the run that they had through China too. And that to me is like a major win condition for this team, because I know that you're always getting that out of Kang. And performances like that require a bit of team setup.
Yeah, and at a certain point in this series, in this map, at least for Haven, it just took a turn for the worse for T1. I mean, Pansy mentioned it during the cast, but the confidence just got knocked at a certain point as well. They took the timeout immediately afterwards, but it was partly because Kang was just knocking them around. He was ragdolling them in the server with some of the plays he was pulling off, man. He is outlandish as a player.
He is
and, I was talking about, the Cypher comp, it can be a bit nerfed, and in theory, comparative. It didn't even matter, man, about the Cypher comp. There were no adjustments that were being made. Yeah, there was some new stuff they were doing, but Kang was taking over the server. Rounds were single-handedly being won for him over and over again just by pure dominance. And you could tell T1 were left reeling. Like, there was no slowing it down, there was no mid-rounding, they were just jumping in to the beginning of every round and just getting absolutely ruined.
He was just getting away with some of the craziest stuff I think we've ever seen. And look at this as well, the passion. And the venue, they were cheering for him as well, they were behind him.
Yeah, of course they are, yeah. I mean, the Japanese crowd is fantastic because if somebody shows like a crazy play, they're just going to root for them. And why wouldn't you be rooting for Kang too? He's a great player and he's a great character.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see it there, but he was BMing a little bit. He was giving it
See, we can't understand it.
Yeah, it was a lot of don't come to my site, and then eventually there was one come to my site, oh, you learned your lessons, you come into my site again. It was great. But the fact that, Bren, this could be the time that EDG actually finally win a match.
Yeah, I mean, it really could, couldn't it? I mean, this is all prime for the taking here as we look towards that map 3.
Yeah, I mean, the international stage first win for them is not the only thing that they are after. Let's hear from the team about their goals in this tournament.
先为 CN 无畏契约拿下第一场胜利吧。
代表中国无畏契约队伍拿到世界赛首个8强。
这次的目标，首先是取得国际赛事上面的首胜吧，然后其次看能不能闯进8强。
这次目标是8强。
这次我们要创造一个中国无畏契约电竞的历史。
还是跟前几个世界赛可能会有点艰难，但是我希望可以在这次的大赛里面拿到中国赛区的第一个首胜。
Kang had hair back then.
That's your big takeaway.
Yeah,
from that,
yeah, he had loads of hair back then.
I like that the team had aligned on a goal beforehand. Like they already know that they need that big first victory. But even for looking even further, their stretch goal is we need to make top 8, we need to make playoffs, that kind of thing. But they've kept it reasonable too. They're not out here like we're going to be the best team in the world. They've already been, I think, humbled a little bit and had to adjust their play style. And you see them pick up more regular comps. I think we're going into Pearl. They play the default meta comp on Pearl, where Kang's again going to have an opportunity to pop off and have them win that first match ever for China.
Yeah, it speaks volumes, I think, as well, their attitudes coming into it, and we'll look ahead to Pearl as that map, and it will be most likely that mirror competition, the kind of meta that's taking the world by storm, unfortunately. America's really paving the way with this one on Pearl, but you see
we can all blame Loud.
We'll
all blame
Loud for this one, honestly.
I mean, my concern is they've been in this position before. They could have secured that win against 100 Thieves. I'm hoping they learn from it. It's the same roster.
It's the same map.
It's the same map, yes. So surely they don't want to...
I think circumstances are a little bit different this time because they're coming off the back of a ton of momentum. They lost the first map, they didn't falter, they brought it back again, and they just left T1 reeling, left to react, and they were making all the wrong adjustments. All the confidence is on the side of Edward Gaming right now. They can move forwards. I know Yinsu's looking at me every time I say Edward Gaming. Like
Edward Gaming.
I just can't help it. I don't know. I just keep saying Edward Gaming.
I'll tell you what another great part about Edward Gaming is. That this map is also fantastic for Jets to pop off. I mean, in terms of how T1 were approaching their attack side, their utility, it was staggered. They had
There's a MacBook. Yeah, carry on.
They had a few early round plays to try and push and gain map control, and then in the breaks between them sending the second cycle of utility, Kankan was peeking and finding those picks. And T1 could not figure out how to stop him doing that. And if he's doing that on Haven, he's gonna do it on Pearl.
Well, let's take a look at the Prime Gaming Agent Select. Are T1 boomed, though? Surely they can come back, right?
I hope not. I mean, they've showcased such an incredible form, I think, as well, running into the playoffs, running into Tokyo, even ahead of time. But you got to be able to pick yourself up as well, because they took the time out. They weren't making the necessary adjustments. They didn't slow stuff down. They were running their head against the brick wall in the form of just running into Kankan, and they couldn't get a handle on him.
They never got a clue. They didn't even look close.
And so that's going to be the big thing to look forward to, right? Is like, is it still going to be the tail of Kankan running away with it in this Jet head-to-head? Big focus probably going to be on Sire player, right? You're going to be thinking of the Jet players as well in terms of keeping a handle on him. Also, the composition itself, really good at trying to shut down.
It should be, if they run it properly.
If they run it properly.
Yeah, so I'm actually looking more towards Ban, like how they're using the high tides and the cascades to stop Kankan from getting value. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Sire's a good person to look at on the other side because he's also hunting for his first match win at a global event.
Am I, did I see that, or did they do a Zeta Ban kind of swap on the Harbor Viper?
But that's what they do.
Oh,
that is the classic. They swap things over in this map for unknown reasons.
We don't know.
I mean, still the same comp though. Still no comp change from T1. And this is it, guys. The third map. One of these teams will be coming out victorious, Pansy and HyperX. I can't wait to see who it's going to be.
A tricky predicament for both sides now. You look at that first map, it felt great for T1, looking like they got everything sorted that they needed, but EDG in map 2, led by Kankan, were out of this world, Mike. So what does that mean now for map 3? Because you kind of alluded to the fact that this is the unknown, right? This isn't something you're
again, I don't want to look at the regional records here because I definitely think there's a bit of disparity. The one thing here, EDG potentially have the opportunity to right their wrongs on the international stage from that deciding map versus 100 Thieves. Like I said, that came down to just one stuck defuse that altered the course of that entire series. So kind of poetic in that regard here for EDG to potentially get the first win on the board here.
But in my head, I ask, what if it happens again? What if it goes...
I'm going to cry. I might cry.
I don't know why, but that's why I start thinking that way. But who knows? We'll find out in a couple of seconds, in a couple of rounds. One of these two teams will be absolutely devastated at this one because this has been a hard-fought-for game. T1 going to be starting out on the defending side. EDG to set the pace on the attack. It's map 3, and it deserves to go the distance.
Really looking towards EDG to make something happen here on the attack as well. Set themselves up comfortably because it's the weaker side of their Pearl. In terms of the stats here, a big gap towards B. G2 send a snake bite over the top here. But T1 starting to explore elsewhere. Sire player's got some space to work with. I think maybe just waiting on some contact here because he's got a very deep position. Doesn't have to overstep the mark just yet.
I like seeing this though, that he isn't overdoing it, but now with the pressure towards that B site, he's going to start moving forward. Now there is still that presence towards middle between, Munchkin? Oh lord, Munchkin's got dinked down. There's so much trouble. That turret seems to be napping right here, but you're absolutely right. Sire removed. This is now a problem. They are surrounded here. It's down towards Ban, Munchkin and Carpe. And he's actually got the first, but the trade is there. Nobody's got him. This is Manic again. Ban the next one into the blender as nobody greets him with a smile and sends him back home. It's down to Munchkin, who just got dinked instantly the second they stepped through those double doors. How much more can one man do? Not that much.
The beautiful setup in mid here. Two people posted up on double doors and just a solo swing out. Like you said, massive amount of damage done onto Munchkin, but Kankan's just posted up, anticipating this flank coming through. Beautiful stuff. Again, not really complementary positions here between Carpe and Ban either. To try and secure some sort of control over towards back halls on B. EDG will get a pistol on the board.
Okay. Sheriff out for Sire. And EDG making no subtleties with their initial look towards A. Yeah, Sire player trying to shift through here. That turret will be a nuisance. Keep in mind how close Smoggy is. I was hoping to see if he could catch Smoggy on a swing, but Smoggy not really having any of it. Does finally get contact, but while this all happens, look towards the A side. They're actually pushing straight through towards R. Munchkin does well to even get one there.
Getting punished, but Zeta now finds himself in a 1v3. Only a classic as well. I think there's going to be a chance for him to rotate and even find a pistol or upgrade to the SMG. Smoggy, the first one, and will find it. EDG 2 up here. Curious how T1 are going to approach this round. EDG feel a little more tempered here in approach. They haven't got that same explosiveness we've seen employed on the other maps. Kang just bringing a frenzy into the previous here. We'll actually throw a rifle in here. Actually, yeah, no, just swapping out last second to the Stinger. So maybe looking towards getting that operator online nice and early.
And for T1, for like the mental reset more than anything, I need them to have a clean round.
Yeah, for sure. EDG ride the momentum in that second half performance on map 2.
Pick up the pistol here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like if they don't stop that trend early, kind of stem the bleed a little bit, my worry starts that T1 just don't feel the game. And they still have a couple of, you know, those younger-ish players, less experienced players they're trying to integrate as well in. And again, that can weigh very heavily. So EDG almost kind of taking pause for thought here, kind of working through the utility that's in front of them. Taking a little bit of contact over towards double door. Ban is there. They're just shifting in through towards R.
Remove the alarm bot here. Still some molly set up towards main. Munchkin looking to post up on it. He's now looking the wrong way. Should note the nano coming through though. Ban's found one elsewhere. Howdong removed.
Okay. Keep them a little further away here. Let's look at that sight crunch coming in. How much room do they get here? Zeta does get affected by the flash, but nobody does well. Takes down one. Has to hold for a second here. Spike just about crossing on through unorthodox plant, but it will go down. Munchkin overwhelmed. Now I'm worried. Now they're in a post plant. They can't really recover too many of these weapons. That's one bonus for T1, but they still got to figure this one out. There's still problems. Nobody still has that Bulldog.
It takes Sire a while to close this gap as well. But look at Chichu. He's going exploring. He's looking to wrap back through spawn.
Oh, the timing. Nobody's gone down, but Kang does find Ban. Here we go. They're trying to make this one work. They're taking away so much of that economy, but already it's starting to be a bigger problem here because Kang just got down Carpe, and that's just Sire player. Big shot on one, but can he find the second? Chichu still standing, closing the gap. Oh, he got the defuse. Barely scraping by. T1 do post it on the board, but EDG do everything else.
Sire with the Red Bull clutch to get T1 their first round here on Pearl, but by the finest of margins. Alex said the point at which Chichu's wrapping into spawn there, Kang actually regroups with the dash. But they relinquish a little bit of control. They lose line of sight on the spike, and that first half defuse just makes it so awkward for Chichu to make a decision. Even SI having the second cloud burst as well.
Yeah.
Crucial sequence of events.
Well, certainly wasn't clean. Certainly wasn't what the doctor ordered. You're seeing it now. Spectres, Guardians, Bulldogs. T1 trying to stitch together a buy that can be fashioned into something.
I've got your
EDG showing all this intent towards A. Seeker's going to come through, reveal two of the players quite clearly. Smoggy going to be actually threading the needle nicely, but he's going to be noted. That should be the swing from Munchkin, and he gets overwhelmed. Smoggy gets to live, and now that's a big success towards the site.
Double flank coming through though. Carpe and Sire. So really hoping that Zeta can survive this.
Oh, there's a pocket to play in. Safe's the wrong word, but he's still alive.
Spike planted.
5 HP.
Oh, ridiculous, but another plant. And last time we saw a Coyote was Kang getting caught off there. Sire player way closer than he expected, and he had support. And now Ban isolating the fight towards nobody. The only one to answer back so far was Chichu with a quick trade. Sire player going to keep things back into hand. It's all on Smoggy. A 1v2. He makes it to the 1v1, but Ban standing alive, staying alive.
Thank God Zeta survives. Buys time for this flank to come back through. Because actually, when they finally find a kill on the flank, that's when EDG start panicking a little bit. They don't have any comfortable positions then. Once main is compromised, Kang, you can see, completely caught off guard here. I'm not even sure, actually didn't know the placement of the utility here of Smoggy. It really should be him disconnected here. T1 keep looking to find value.
Anime battle. Knives on both sides.
Okay.
That's all and they're going towards long. You ready?
Yeah.
It's going to be so underwhelming. Here we go. This is the fight we want to be seeing.
Maybe not.
It actually could be nuts. The flash goes in. Can gets a couple of steps in. Close to the gap. He's absolutely nuts. There it is. The true protagonist. Going to take towards the side, take the space. Just trailblazing the way for his side.
Not much of a fight, to be honest with you.
Just not an enviable position, is it? Gang once more. This guy's just hopping around. He just wants to fight. He's begging for someone to try and take him up on the challenge. Zeta slowly trying to creep away. He's going to find the first. Howdong does go down, so maybe there's a little bit of room for, a little bit of something. Another fight. Okay, he's going to keep his life, but down to 5 HP. That's it. Surely that's got to be wraps. Yeah, okay, they're going to back away. So the anime battle has been won out. Not too bad.
Another round on the board, a third here for EDG. And a crazy exchange here to start this off. Even the Reckoning coming through as well. Beautiful stuff from Can.
It's just the fact that he sees those three players there. So
he's had so many rounds today.
Yeah.
So many. I mean, that's...
Make a frag movie of just this game. Screw the rest of the tournament. Just this. I don't know how much of a tournament they'll get to play. Who knows? But literally this game is enough for most people's lifetimes of clips. That's obscene. It's obscene. 2 to 3. T1 going to have to pick themselves up off the floor. Rebuild into this.
Early space garnered here, though. A broken purchase. Sire on the rifle. Zeta. She's donning the judge here. Lockdown will come through and clear majority of B side. Little pocket to play in, yes. It's already pinged out here. The awareness is there from EDG. They're going to have to clear this corner. It's going to be the Trailblazer to potentially do it. Zeta's just outside of it. To give it a chance.
And he takes it. He does quite well. Kang's gone down as well. This is good. They're making a bit of a fight out of this one. Keep themselves standing. Sire player going to take down nobody. They don't get the plant. The spike left deep at the back. Tricky now. There's Smoggy and Chichu trying to navigate this new conundrum in front of them. Can they get that spike back? For now, yes, wall in the way. They get a little bit of a moment. Armbot goes in, but finding a safe plant here, Mike, isn't going to be easy.
Definitely not. Chichu does have 2 snake bites. Work with here, but Seeker's employed and looking to try and pre-take here, but EDG ready for it. Chichu found 2. Smoggy found another.
Oh, they found them all!
Ridiculous from EDG. Baiting out with the tap of the spike. Seekers invested. T1 look to try and make their numbers advantage work. But they play right into the hands of EDG.
Show me this again. Okay, yeah, Chichu, beautiful work. And the fact that Smoggy's able to just swing around in time to catch those final 2s, that Seeker connected. Oh, wow. And okay, let's kind of hit the brakes here, because I don't know if they're going to hit the timeout here for the likes of T1. They might have to. I again, don't know this team as well. They still got to buy here. That's got to be devastating, right? Like, that's a heartbreaking round. Absolutely. You're losing that, a 2v, what is it, 4? Especially after the Can round, you've had so many big mental rounds put against you.
Especially when they did the hard work. Mitigating the lockdown, they find the difficult kills, deny the plant as well, force EDG into what feels like a very difficult to recover position. Some adjustment here of the utility.
Good look. Okay, Munchkin.
Freebie.
That's not bad.
Well.
Chaos on the side going to continue until now. Okay. So we have a whole lot of ults in play. Munchkin's still got his. We just saw the Chichu's invested theirs. Lockdown going to come in. Cause a couple of issues.
I was going to say, yeah, denies the Viper's pit, but only really forces them to the front side of Pillar. So gives them a very comfortable position to set up here.
Okay, locked down, but Chichu
This is
trying to stay
disgusting.
safe.
Saya, full clear this?
Saya, you're gonna check, Yes, you do, Saya. Great heads-up work there. Now we're looking at the back three, who's still alive? Not too many. Nobody might be enough, though. Can he deny the defuse is still be going? And Saya pulled away from it, walks on in. Nobody backhands him. They can't stop the defuse. T1 holding it down.
You say there's an open sideline here. The lockdown doesn't force them all the way behind pillar. But EDG can't hold on to this. T1, again, that timeline looking pretty similar to what they were trying to pull off on Haven. Only round wins coming through from defusals here. A huge kill here for Munchkin to find a freebie and reset off it. He's the one to come through in the back end of this round as well to seal the deal for T1's third.
It's a brawl, Mike. Right back to business. Kankang up against Saya, and it's Saya to win out. Nobody, though, did well last round, wants to do well this round. 7 more bullets and 1 more victim. Can't get it, though. Ban stays alive. He wins out the battle and leaves him with the player advantage in a 3v2.
Just catching the edge of that wall. Blocks LOS for Ban to find the kill. Chichu will reveal his position here. The snake bite. A little bit of a gap. I'm not sure why Zeta's not picking up the slack on either side of this. Finally going to pick up the angle towards Art.
I'm worried about Smoggy.
If he's given a chance.
Okay.
Zeta shuts it down.
Oof. Okay, so should be not a problem. Right, we're good.
Should be not a problem.
Should be not a problem. Look how decisive I am in my verbiage.
Munchkin surely finds this one.
45 HP, though.
Yeah, it's not doable.
It's not doable. 40 seconds.
He's going to give it up. Wow.
Huh? Even Chichu's like, wait, what? Is that... Huh? Well, they
paying
really
a lot
want
of
this round.
a lot of respect.
It says a lot about T1 right now, if anything. Making, yeah. No mistakes in this. And Chichu's just...
This is twice now that the stars align, that T1 and EDG both focus one of these extremities in the same round. So only really seen those to be rounds where there's any sort of, I guess, commitment to the opening engagement on both sides. Like I said, both teams finding it in the right rounds.
I want to see Zeta at least get the upgrade. And sat there with a bulldog the entire time. There we go. Treats himself. But Chichu, well, I mean, in a 1v2 there at the end, he at least drawed out the ult, which she'll take. He'll absolutely take that.
Yeah, you pull the pit away in a round where it's already concluded. Obviously, T1, like I said, paying a lot of respect to Chichu still being alive, but... So I'm curious of, of whether or not anything else is going to come through for EDG. 2 Stingers, Phantom in the hands of Chichu. 2 Sheriffs to round things out. Nobody does have the Seekers, but not really close enough to any other ultimates to get anything going here for EDG.
No, I mean, if you get like an opportunity, if there's something you can springboard off, yeah, maybe you throw it in if you get a couple of big starters.
Right, you look towards Smoggy potentially. He's 3 away though, and Kankang.
Kankang changed his crosshair. I think he has. I feel it's just like the normal black cross earlier. Who knows? He does do the wiggly mouse moves. He's got the Kierby aim, so it just keeps my attention. This time, no opportunity to bring it into bet. Baghdadi holding well. Seemingly very aware of their wants in this. Saya player greeting nobody, so the split really doesn't find too much, and now trying to cross through from this position would be a death funnel coming out of there.
And we'll find one. Chichu does respond. 4v2 now. Carpe though. Wow, because they should find the second. The Smoggy responds to find another one.
Wait, hold on. Okay. It's all good.
I was just about to say T1 feel as if they're stabilizing a little bit in this half, but luckily closing that one out. Find their 5th. 1 ahead now of EDG as we enter round 10. This is a crucial one for EDG, yeah. No surprise to see the timeout coming through here.
What have they got in the kit?
Lockdown available, Seekers available as well, but like I said, a couple more ultimates just to miss.
I just feel it very hard to categorize EDG because it's like sometimes they're gonna have they just seem to have rounds where it's like it feels hard to characterize what works for them in a weird way. So they have so many rounds. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those teams where it's very hard to like sit back and look and go, okay, well, can they replicate that? And then the weird thing is, yes, because apparently Kang is the best player that we've ever seen.
Actually, here on the attack, I don't want to say he's having a bad half, but certainly a quieter performance than we've seen across the first two maps. Yeah. Smoggy stepping up to the plate once again on this Killjoy. Haldong down at 1 and 9, but you can't even really blame him for some of these rounds and how they're going out, especially on that Harbor. It's almost similar to Sage duty. Sometimes you're the one that does bear the brunt of a lot of utility. Yes. Soulcast duty. I just call that
Soulcast duty. Yeah. He's here at this event though, so it's fine. You know, he's.
I've had this chat with him.
You've gone through it.
He's alright with it. Yeah.
I mean, after lock-in, he probably wasn't alright with it then.
I left it a month or so.
Got it, you let it cool down. Like the knifing on Haven. There's so many.
I think.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, that was all right. Well, our focus aside, it is 5-4. Still, it feels inseparable with these teams, but there has been a string of rounds now from T1. So, on to back for EDG. They have some options to work with. Let's see what they go for.
And the reason I say starting to stabilize is because they're not conceding plants now. We're talking about heavily relying on, or being forced into a position to find diffusers to win out rounds. In 2 rounds now where time and elimination has decided it.
I want to see what the purpose in this round is going to be of Chichu here. I assume he's just holding space for them to go for this late rotate, but...
Yeah, but where's the pressure come through?
Yeah.
T1 haven't set our fact finder, but after the Trailblazer being spotted and no follow-up coming through, Ban's already preemptively rotating.
Yeah,
and like I said, this Killjoy setup is to minimize the, I guess, freedom inside the cove to find this plant. So, well, it should buy time, but already T1 making their way this direction, Lauren.
Yeah, the flash that went out after the rotation of Ban is going to confirm the suspicions. They know it. Yeah, it's going to be a bursty piece. Going to use the Seekers to try and get through. You can see him isolating a little bit. No denial of the plant just yet, though, and Can gets handled. Xayah player sends him back to the menu this round. Haldong trying to close the gap, a big opportunity. Puts his life on the line and succeeds. Chichu doing incredibly well. And that is a round flipped on its head from what I expected.
Absolutely, it's a late round hit that just looks so comfortable for EDG. T1 left scratching their heads, honestly. Haldong completely unnoted.
And if you look at, again, protocol list of things that are meant to work out, well, you get the early read, you get the early rotation, you get the bodies ready on the side. But again, that play coming out from Haldong, just kind of willing to tank the damage.
They pivot so quickly out of committing to this farm, by the way. Cove goes down, a little bit of pressure felt on the other side. Nano Swarms don't really achieve anything. Lockdown goes in, and it's Haldong with the spike to swing through back halls and find a two-piece.
I didn't even notice that.
It just, again, the audible there for EDG in that chaos. And like I said, it looks so comfortable.
These two teams so close, 5 apiece now. Cyplay needs a big round here, though. The rest of the 5 very shoddy, and Chichu deals with them instantaneously. That's your heavy hitter now gone. Down on the others, try and do something with very little. That's not bad. Munchkin, remember those 3 he got before? He tried it again. Massive work from the boy, but now down to Ban and Zeta. Yes, he does have the Bulldog on Ban, but any opportunity to use it yet to be seen.
Zeta forced back by the first snake bite. Second one going to come through as well. She does have the Viper Spit if he wants to throw in here. It's a 3v2. Advantage EDG. Late flank coming through from Ban. You said Bulldog in hand, but there's a lot of ground to cover here.
Yeah.
Right there.
Expecting some utility here. Tries to block it off with the cove, but there's nothing there. I'm not even sure actually can they spot the edge of that cove. Doesn't even matter. Chichu will find it. Just Zeta and a Frenzy.
I've heard the Frenzies are quite good, but I don't think they're this good. Michael, I see in the eyebrow raise.
I'm not making any faces. It's doable.
Yeah?
Yep.
Believer? Cool. Yeah, this is now just going to dwindle down on the time. This round wasn't going to be particularly much for T1. Looking to see if maybe there was something that could have happened with Xayah player, but with him being found so early on. And, I mean, Munchkin made a great go of it. Can't say he didn't. But freestanding, Zeta's going to go down to the spike. And EDG will hold the round now. If it's true to what we've seen so far, first 2 maps, 6 apiece, both times on the half here. I wonder, do we see the same again here?
Like I said, really, you're looking for EDG to make this as best they can on the first half, because that's where it sits a little weaker. I think overall this year, 68% round win rate on the defense, which is terrifying. So if they find a lead here in the first, T1, the odds are stacked against them.
Okay, Kang unnoted by that flash early on. So a player playing anti-flash of this has to turn
brave, actually. Very brave.
Yeah, that's ridiculous that he went for that. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a bad call, but he has forced them away into the eyes of Munchkin. Catching Smoggy on the other side is big. That's going to take away a little bit of that mid-pressure.
And this has been missing from the last few rounds, a free opener from T1. And a 10-second gap or so behind it before any possibility of contact to come through from EDG.
There's no one on the A side. That does make...
And Kang's not found the space. He's got the operator, so he's slowly clearing through. And actually burn his dash up very early on. So got to wait for his teammates to back him up.
Do they have anything to play offside? Okay, so they've got Munchkin's ult here as well.
Yeah, they're sitting deep now for the lockdown.
Yeah, they're going to have the Seeker go through, which does reveal that one player towards middle as well. That's going to be quite indicative of Chi-Chu's position.
As I say, Chi-Chu is spotted out with the Seeker, but does the pinch come through? Because I think Munchkin wants to get this as deep as possible.
It looks like they're trying to isolate so they can't be counter-swung. And there it is. Okay, big pickup.
That's the lockdown he wants.
Okay, it's going to force a little bit more of a presence towards CT from EDG, but with Howdon going down, that's a problem. It's not an easy fight. Sire player, great connection. It's all on one. How much can Kang do a 1v5? This needs a lot of work. It ain't going to happen this round. It feels fated to once again see that 6-6 scoreline. These two teams are going the distance, Mike.
And that's the one, really. EDG were in a position to give themselves an advantage. Unable to do so here. He said T1, unable to, like I said, they stabilized a little bit. Got a grip for how EDG were approaching this half, but even so, EDG strike back.
Well, good way to close out. Let's come back after the break.
We don't take breaks here, Lauren. You know better than that. But Bren, another 6-6 half.
Yep, another 6-6 half between both of these teams. Edward Gaming, I think, living up to kind of the hype and hopes of a lot of people, right? Yourself included. Yinsu, you had really high hopes for Edward Gaming. But the fact that they are going toe-to-toe with T1, it's quite awesome to see, to be honest, because this really does feel like the time, the essence is there for them to potentially get that first win for China over the initial hurdle.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see whether they can keep it up in the second half.
We'll see. But first, let's take a look at the Verizon high-speed moment from that half. This was from round 5. Would you believe it? It's Kang.
Yeah.
What are the chances?
Exactly. This one was the one that Pansy called an anime battle, and I think for good reason. Both jets are there with knives in hand. And look at how good the utility is, and look how faster paced it is for Kang and the rest of EDG, whereas they're going for the reckoning push on the other side and just getting caught out. And that I feel has been the way with T1. Even when they try to do something proactive, they get tripped up because their timing's just a bit too slow.
Yeah, but I will say, I have been quite impressed that they managed to rally back as well, because it looked like early on, Edward Gaming again were just beating the ever-loving, not going to say it, but out of them.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was just brutal, but they did manage to turn it around quite a bit. Usually the first thing to go is the discipline. When you're trying to, have the protocols intact, you're trying to play to deny. It's really important that you're playing together here and you have really good ideas of how to disrupt this post-plant setup, but it didn't go amiss. And it was one of the things that was really the strength for T1, I think, that carried them to that 6-6.
Yeah, look at these protocols. So they have a player in front of the diffuser so that if you kill them, you think you've won the round. And then they also have people pushing through the high tide. So it's just that little triple play where everybody knows what their job is. One to stick, one to body block, one to push. It works really well. And that's one of the reasons why T1 have improved so much. The problem is they're going into their attack half now and they couldn't stop Kang's jet up on Haven. I don't know if they can now.
I mean, they have to if they want to go through the upper bracket route of qualifying for playoffs. Pansy and Hypoc, this is it. One of them is going to be taking the win, and I cannot tell you which one I think is going to be. EDG.
You got to get the last word.
EDG. Full faith. All right, that's fair. Look, I kind of wrote down the top. Sue wants EDG win. I mean,
I think she's
getting
mentioned
game.
that a couple of times.
Yeah, just subtly. Very subtle, though. Okay. Let's kind of take a step back here, because I think a lot of our expectations have changed since the start of this game after seeing the pacing coming out from EDG, the capability of T1 to match that, and then kind of even going further than that for T1, right? Kind of, trying to deal with Kang, and him still succeed. It's been a ridiculous affair between these two. Do you think this is the cracking point for T1? Is this just out of their reach? Is this time that EDG finally push through for that first win?
I think they need to confidently set the tempo here early on in the second half for me to feel confident about them pulling this back. Again, EDG actually conceding a lot of space here, but look at the mini-map. Look at what Munchkin's got to deal with here. Lots coming through. He is hard cleared. He gets the first, he gets the second as well.
He's so clean with it, Munchkin. 2 big shots. And yes, Kang still stands, but that's massive. That's bought time, it's bought presence. All that attention now turning.
And full side control as well, so Chi-Chu going to have his work cut out for him. The solo player here to try and crack back through from spawn.
But the time is running so low now. For them to just close the gap here, they can just start playing with that clock, right? Buy a couple more seconds. You can hear it starting to get faster and faster. Kang wants to get down towards it. Smoggy, big pick. Kang's found Carpe, but they got to make a move on this runabout now. They are running so low on the time. Smoggy has to defend. Kang forced off it. He can't do any more here. Drags them to their grave with him. But it will be T1 to get the first.
It goes out in style nonetheless. And actually, 5 orbs towards the Blade Storm. Sorry, 4. It falls to the spike.
Yeah.
Again, good progress for him nonetheless. Yeah, if he gets cleared there, definitely doable for EDG to make something happen here. Let's see what I think EDG at least feels like. EDG have definitely dominated the pistols in this series, so T1, an opportunity here to get something done here on the back of it. Much deeper investment of the Trailblazer here to clear out this close space.
Cool.
T1 maybe wanted to set the precedent of some B pressure here early on in the first 2 rounds.
That wall's going to make it tricky. They might have to respect that until the Cove. That will at least maybe give them a little bit of room to work. You can see Chi-Chu looking into it. Hold on! This is getting messy until then. Zetas as well controls the madness and the mayhem. Cools it down a bit. Kang can do no more. They will be fine in the end. Got a little bit dangerous, a little bit, boisterous, but they relaxed.
Actually, a cleaner conversion here. I feel like actually...
Pretty clean as we've seen so far.
Yeah, a lot of times EDG pack a punch in these sort of rounds where they don't bring an awful lot in. 2 rounds to start things off for T1. I'm curious, like I said, if that is to kind of plant the seeds and draw maybe this defensive setup towards B site early on, and T1 look to maybe rely on that conditioning. And really that's to force Kang into a position to try and anchor this B long area. We see time and time again on Pearl. We're different here though, Saya disconnected.
He's got a lot of space though.
Yeah, identified a gap actually.
I wonder if we see that appear later on in this. Now,
the pings come through from EDG though. They're aware of exactly where he's drifting.
Great guesswork from them. Just feeling maybe no pressure towards B long, but now with the hit towards B, they might turn attention. Haodong so ready for it though. Saya player, as you highlighted, was so expected. Chi-Chu on the support as well. Not allowing Smoggy to fight alone. Yes, taken low, but still. Plant gonna come in. What can these 3 do here? Ban not so much, but Zeta gonna be thriving in this.
It's got a pit.
Massive.
That's huge to get this online.
That's gonna cover through well. Zeta trying to slip away a little bit there. Make them work for their dinner. The 3 players remaining, still got the Flash, still got the Dog as well for nobody. A lot to be played with there for them. Team start trying to clear through. Won't find Zeta just yet though. We're still gonna need a lot of work coming out from Carpe as well to try and support this. Only got that Spectre, but he does really well. T1. Beautiful work there, and Zeta heroics.
That is massive to convert this. 9-6 ahead now. Kang, 1 off the Blade Storm. Not going to have that off the rip here. We're not T1. The awareness is there to try and deny the orbs here, considering what has happened throughout this series.
I feel like, especially after the last map when like EDG kind of really started to tear away with it a bit, starting to look more confident. Seeing T1 with an opportunity to go up on the second half is huge for them, right? It's like 9-6, gives a little bit of buffer.
I feel like they've been forced into recovery mode time and time again in this series.
That's incredibly hard for them to do. Obviously, when you've got Kankang in your face, just doing like
even on Fracture in a 13-10 win, it felt like that.
Absolutely. Let's see how they fare with a little bit of an upper hand here. 2 players stacked towards the back of the site. Carpe going to isolate Howdong quite quickly here. EDG very close by though. Flash going to go in. Kankang ready to try and pounce on this, but they're not going to find much success just yet. It's Smoggy trying to find a couple of players here. Kankang, what can you do? That's not bad anymore, would have been better, but that's all he can achieve this time. A Smoggy with a Sheriff and a Dream, and it's going to be crushed. Nothing more out of that one.
EDG have to answer back now. They have the benefit of the round loss bonus here to potentially ride through a light shield purchase, but they invest everything, including an operator, a glass cannon nonetheless. So EDG will call the timeout here because this is crucial for them here on the deciding map.
The sad thing is the real consideration of that heartbreak again on Pearl, right?
Yeah, different affair this time around because, yeah, a little bit of a gap developed here. I believe EDG in that second half got to 12 very quickly and 100 Thieves clawed their way back in.
Yeah. Does EDG even have that in them yet? They haven't really got a grip much onto this half yet at all. Again, converting, as we've seen T1 do, converting the bonus here, it's instantly put them in that bad position, right? It's very tough to come back from this scenario. That was a weird noise. I caught you off guard as well, I heard it, all right? I saw your face. I would say though, yeah, it's just gonna put them instantly under that pressure situation. It happens. We've seen teams lose that, bonus conversion. They haven't been able to kind of do what was done by the likes of T1. That's incredible for them. Set them up to succeed instantly on double digits. You couldn't ask for a better start to a second half. However, it's not over yet, right? Now we're just into the bye rounds.
Sure, but I feel like it very much could be. This is potentially T1 finding 11, breaking the bank, and actually if EDG invests these 2 ultimates now, that could be a game changer.
I have faith.
Okay, like I said, EDG have to answer back now. The time is now to have a say in this second half of Pearl. Bladestorm and Seekers available for T1 as well.
And it looks quite quick from T1, at least initially. Making no subtlety of that early presence towards A.
The conditioning's worked. It's forced the adjustment of Kankang over towards B. So there's a gap created towards A here. Can T1 catch the timing?
Howdong has to sit so deep on this. They've cleared so much space here as well. T1 swiftly making this work. And now the post plant should be quite comfortable as well. 3 players kind of sitting very actively here.
Difference being Munchkin has the utility in place to address this flank, yet already noted.
Yeah, but how are they going to try and clear through these players? That's what I'm looking for. Munchkin does really well towards nobody. They want to go even further. Yeah, they're chasing him down. Dates found Smoggy, making it hurt. This is gorgeous from T1. A pace change in a moment like this. It's going to need something from this man. But it feels like the time's almost gone already. By the time they get here, I don't think they can do any more. I think they have to back away, especially with that operator in play.
Beautifully done. Like I said, T1 swing out of this timeout. And you got to admit, EDG probably feeling like they have to address the B long hold.
Of course.
They can't concede that amount of space because T1 were running away with those rounds in terms of freedom. Like I said here, it's not a slow push towards A. Immediately identifying that window. Find the plant and it's comfortable. It's an aggressive post plant as well.
Yeah,
on the back of the flank being identified, they actually pressure all the way in towards connector. Not trying to find that flank. I think maybe anticipating. Yeah, they might clear through all the way through B. That might be 2 or 3 people coming through on the flank. Beautiful stuff from T1. Really, really well constructed.
Now you start to panic if you're EDG.
Absolutely. It's off kilter now in terms of the purchase as well. I mean,
Lost down those Seekers too.
Yeah, Kankang down to 550. No blades.
Oh, this is all a fake as well. There's no intention behind this just yet. They were trying to work towards middle. Once again, exploring through art here. Not going to be watched here, though. Kankang, well aware of this until then. Loses his sight lines on this. Takes the next look, though. Finds Munchkin. This is the damage he needs to achieve, and he has to still do more. 1 is not enough. The rest of his team, keep in mind, are on Sheriffs, excluding Howdong. That's it. Kankang trying to catch the cross on the way out. Spots nothing because Carpe tucks in towards that right side corner. Lockdown going to come through as well, trying to clear through that side. Chichu's found Zeta. Hold on. Okay. They ain't done yet. That lockdown will have to be respected. It's forced them slightly further away. Carpe now next on the chopping block does go down, and now down to 2. Sire and Ban, are you got anything to say about this one? No! Can again, still doing damage. Ban, the last one alive, is overwhelmed, and EDG hold on for another round here.
That's the round they put up. Ridiculous. But I've got to say, it's another one where there's just half a second either way. Somebody swings onto a dry angle that Kang swings back out into. And Munchkin the one to ultimately be punished here. I feel like I've said that a number of times in this series. Again, beautiful utility to obviously seal off behind that lockdown, but it just needs to be a little bit more shallow. Just focus on the side control.
Okay.
EDG cling to life though, Lauren.
Just about. Operators in play for both sides. Kang, does he suspect that Zeta's already crossed through? A little bit of utility could have facilitated that, but they've been conditioned, right? They've been told to believe that it could be presence behind this, but they're going to the one man. The one man who's truly been able to stop them. 4 players waiting towards long. He feels the pressure. The wall comes in. How much can he do? He's got an army on the other side. He's already taken one away. Does get closed down on though. Great work from Sire, who springs into action and takes a step further, but they didn't clear backside. Hold on. They ain't out of the woods just yet. Nobody's done massive work. And don't forget about the likes of Smoggy silvering around here. How long can fight Sire player? They are not done yet. Yes, Kang fell, but the rest still held their own here. Carpe's gone down, and now it's just Munchkin, and that spike is out of hand. He is not able to play any around this. He's got to back away here. Tries to reset a little and hope for the best, but right now, EDG, they're digging in their heels. They are not going to go quietly out of this game. And Munchkin, a chance, the tag. But 3 players, that ain't gonna be easy. Feels like he's reading it right. But can he get that first kill? 13 seconds. Been a little unlucky. Not a chance in hell. EDG, 3 standing, operator back. They're back in the game, Mike.
It's just a little overzealous from Sire. Again, I think reading into, yes, they've put Kang in this hard anchor position. There's gonna be a huge gap. And when he finds his second here, I think he's just thinking, yeah, it's free, guys. Follow me up. But then Ban swings ahead of the Cove coming down, and things start to spiral out of control. This one slips through T1's fingers.
That's the hope they need, though, for EDG. This kind of just reignites what they had. Probably weren't happy at the end of that.
Yeah, and that clips from
that might have been the
earlier on in the round.
Yeah. Timeout here for T1 if you are wondering. And rightly so, this is the first 2 that EDG have posted in a while. That momentum switch has truly come into effect, right? We're starting to see that little change up here. So a little bit of a different look in that. Now, Kang still playing such a pivotal role. Solo anchor almost on that. Still finding a bit of value, still playing out very well. Buying enough time for those rotations. But again, do you think T1 can navigate around him? Do they need to? What can they go back to here? What option-wise left for T1 now? They're at 11 rounds, Mike. They only
they still have a lead to work with
Absolutely.
here. And again, you don't really want this one to come down to the wire, but at least the benefit to maybe reset. Even if they lose here, they can get a little bit more progress back towards a comfortable ult cycle. But we're back in a position where we're asking them really to slow things down, or go back to basics.
Yes.
We're talking about, obviously, identifying where Kang is with this operator and making a decision based on the back of it.
And how do you navigate around him? So they're kind of leaving him to explore over towards B long now. Kang does have a challenger in the form of Zeta. Last time around, oh, the challenge is gone. It ain't even a challenge. And as soon as they clear that, look at the rotation as well. Chichu is instantly over towards A.
I know, because he's shouldering that pillar. There's not going to be any second layer to it. Side player trying to creep out, but the spacing's not there. Carpe will fall too.
EDG coming alive now. Starting to look way better off. Starting to get a little bit of fire back in him. Ban noted. Only player unconsidered was Munchkin. And the flash going a little too deep, so won't be revealed just yet, but how do you cross that path?
I mean, stuck behind this alarm bot as well. You can see Smoggy, just waiting to play contact off it.
this is terrifying, right? Because like you think of the mental game in these, it's just like swings and roundabouts. T1 getting to 11, having that perfect start in the second half, converting the bonus round, everything's looking golden. You kind of figured it out. You conditioned EDG early. You're getting everything you want, and then suddenly little switch flicks. EDG start getting a little bit, back into this. You're getting Kang a little bit more presence, and even if he just has to solo anchor that B site, that might be enough. Yeah,
but solo anchor, but he's back in a position to dictate the tempo of these rounds, and that's where EDG really shine. T1, unfortunately, like I said, lots of positives in the early rounds. Now don't have the benefit of that financial cushion. Here's Zeta down to 2100. Sire didn't note the progress on the Blade Storm, but we'll see it very shortly. It'll be a broken purchase, if any.
Yep.
Yeah, Sire's nowhere near it.
Nope.
Curious, really, of what investment we will see from T1. Bulldog coming in.
Okay.
A stinger in the hands of Carpe.
Oh.
Actually going to swap over, going to try and put Sire in a position to do some work here. The other side of things, a Viper's Pit and a Blade Storm for EDG to work with.
Okay. It looks like T1 to re-explore that B option. Now, we have seen the switch up here. They have put the likes of Kang over towards middle by double door. Maybe just knowing that Chichu has this to invest if needed.
Deep investment of it, actually.
Now, that cross feeling treacherous towards the side, isn't it? Meant to get through that. But again, no adjustment from Kang yet. Still holding towards those double doors, maybe expecting them to fall away from this on the contact of that Viper's Pit. Could get the punish if he holds patient enough, but they could take that deeper route here.
The other thing as well, on the other side of the map, Smoggy does have an anti-plant setup here to buy time for the rotation, but it's coming through very early on, actually.
Maybe just
nobody head that way. Maybe to send a flash out, maybe to send the Trailblazer through, and it's actually a flash over the top. So we'll confirm presence here. A little bit of a red herring, though, Lauren.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Munchkin is the only one here. 4 other players still waiting. Now they know that this is all but a ruse. What can Chichu do about this one? He's going to be pushed out of position by just a second or two. The Viper's Pit is about to drop.
He loses the pit.
That's gone down now. Grand reveal, hello. They still have Howdong. Hold on. They're going to check this, right? They do check this diligently. You can see them all trying to get the attention, and Kang still going to be doing damage. Howdong gets away with it, takes out Sire player. He's still taking him down. Carpe falls. They had no idea that Howdong could be here in this corner. Spike left loose. They are backing the hell away. These two players need the rifles because EDG just held them back again.
T1 do so much right here. EDG as well, like I said, that flash catching over towards A. Pulls the rotation, but at the last moment, it's Howdong to cling onto that B-side control and Kang to come back through with it.
But also the fact that the likes of Chichu are fighting so desperately for their attention, right? They're trying to play in Howdong so badly to make it such an issue to clear the other two players that no one's considering him at that point.
Even the Reckoning comes through here and, like I said, mitigates the pit perfectly. But somehow, it's 11-10 now, EDG. 4 rounds unanswered. It's another situation where asking T1 to stabilize, but they've been unable to do so. 5 rounds now.
Kang's here. Haven't seen him on this site for a minute now. We've seen these 3-play splits. This guy seems always good for 1. Haven't seen him falter just yet. 3 on the other side, he's still good for it! Oh, and even the back of the support system, so good for EDG! He's reading him like a book! This guy doesn't know how not to win, finally falls, hold on! Ban, tell me you got something for me here in a 1v2.
And the clutch again. Can he deliver?
He was good for him, Mike. This is so much on him, though. 58 seconds to play with and 2 to find. Chichu, Stanley, and Smoggy. He's navigated past 1 quietly. But the second, Chichu could be an issue if he turns around. He hasn't yet. He's not quite checking. But does Ban look back? He does. He's going to find him. Okay, now the 1v1. The step's going to be heard. Chichu knows it, but does he get around the corner in time? Ban! Oh, he's got around the corner just in time. Chichu's not been running the entire time either. He's creeping up on him slowly. Ban has no idea how close Chichu is. This is a disaster in the making. There's no way out of it. And Chichu's got him dead. And we are tied all even.
What a ridiculous round. It finally comes down to a 1v1. It's 11-11 here. I hate to say it again, Kang rotating once again, but there's no Trailblazer to open up this site. It's a dry swing from Sire with the dash popped, and Kang punishes once again.
I'm looking where he is this round, Mike.
Yeah, now it's T1 are going to try and find some aggression over towards B Long.
They can't get away from him.
Kang set up here once again.
He's waiting patiently. T1 could be walking in to their absolute demise. It's 3 players this time. And he's going to hear all of this relayed by nobody. He's still going to be standing. It's Chi-Chu this time to get them too. Kang still waiting on the back lines, has to fall away. Big damage coming in, that's not bad. Taking down those first 2, but look at the casualties they've suffered. Strewn across long. Sire player down, Carpe down, Munchkin down. This could be the lead for EDG. What can Zeta and Ban do?
A chance here to get both ultimates, the Pit and the Reckoning.
Yeah, but get past this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your first and pretty much last challenge, it feels like. Jump spot for Haodong. Don't know if you know the player, they're pausing. They're trying to wait for that rotation, but you can already see the back line being cleared by Smoggy. They're not going to fall for any of this. Kang just wait, stand and deliver. Zeta now down, it's all on Ban in a 1v3. So much on this man's shoulders here, being held at 11. A tap on the spike, just draws in the Hunter. Trying to toy with him. And Ban just not getting any opportunity. The shorty is out. And it's damn good. 12 rounds for EDG. T1 held on 11.
Talk about EDG righting their wrongs on the international stage at the start of this map. And an opportunity to do it. To close out Pearl as the decider. Ridiculous stuff here. And the support system in place. Chi-Chu actually delivers the openers here. T1 ripped to shreds here on the second half.
23rd round, they take that lead. Bloody hell. Don't get to see this sort of performance every day, and for T1, this is about to be devastating. They've got ult, so Mike, they've got a lot to play with here, right? They've got, you know, money should be there. Well, maybe not for everyone. Money may not be there, I might have told a lie to you, but the ults are at least there. But they haven't been able to convert those even when they've had the full buys, the ults. Yeah, they're...
Like I said, there's a number of times where T1 just, when they flip towards the other side, there's just a lack of awareness of throwing the Trailblazer out, making sure that Kang's not posted up on an aggressive angle. Even on that previous, they missed the Trailblazer all the way up towards, basically the top of ramp. Like, again, it can be removed so quickly. The value from that utility has really been lacking, at least here in, I guess, from round 17 onwards. But 6 rounds unanswered here. EDG on the brink of closing out the third.
Okay, operator down for Kang. Actually just going to be sitting on the rifle this time. I expected that to carry on through, but feeling that pressure.
He's left that somewhere.
Yeah, it feels like he has. He had it. It's going to be around. But do they get to force him away from the first angle? 26 kills already. Superhuman performance from him. He feels all that pressure coming in now. The Seek's going to be countering it already. You can note the couple of players here. Dips away from the fight. Munchkin almost had the best of him. But it's Haodong to succeed against Sire player. Big trade comes out though. Munchkin still standing. And Kang removed. It's just chaos on the site already. But look at where the spike is. They haven't fully committed yet. How is he alive? How is he alive? How is this? What? He got nobody! How is this happening? Smoggy now tries to navigate the depths and he's found Zeta. The spike now creeping towards the side. Ban's got Smoggy. It's all on Chi-Chu. This could be 12, and it is! 12 apiece, finally! T1 wake up.
Another overtime for EDG on Pearl.
Oh, good lord.
How will this one pan out? There's one where Kang here isolated, the raid boss removed. What is that kill, by the way? Zeta was Pearl's left on 1 HP from the wall bang as well.
Oh, come on.
Slips back into the pit, finds a heal from Carpe. What a way to turn things around and force overtime.
Didn't expect us to be here, if I'm honest. I didn't expect that T1 would be brought up to this many rounds. I thought they would close out. They were held on 11, but I was like, cool, they'll be fine. No, EDG running it back. The last hurdle, the last opportunity, T1.
You doubted the Valorant scripting.
Yeah, my bad.
The Pearl decider.
I guess that's on me, isn't it?
Of course we went here. Of course, yeah,
it is us. Everyone else having 2 zeros.
Six rounds unanswered. Yeah, 7th eludes them. Of course.
Yeah, if anyone's seen the script, please forward it on over. Plan my evening around it. But I just looking at these string of rounds just blows my mind, right? Just what are you meant to do with that? Coaches, players.
Yeah, because the tempo's all over the place, and that's where you can maybe give a little bit of leeway to T1 being off their game in terms of protocols and stuff. This has been so hard for either team to really, grasp some of these rounds. So difficult to read. Like I said, in the first half, really, the stars aligning on 2 rounds where both teams focus the same part of the map, but it's about all there's been in terms of similarities.
OT now. T1 on the defending side. Obviously, EDG on that attack. Xayah player sitting anti-flash once again, but it's Munchkin with the straight-up spam. Gonna catch Howdong, making this site take a little trickier here. And Xayah player, that's bold! And it works! Takes down Kankang and sits a little deeper on the site here. So much damage done so early.
And no chance of a trade coming back through on either of those. So an early 5v3. That player won't be noted here, or at least spotted just yet. Finds another Chichu, will fall.
Oh, he wants more.
Yeah, he's hanging around.
Yeah. I mean, he's been bullied the whole game here, it feels like. Kankang. Oh, belting shot! Go on! Oh, what? Wait, hold on. Hold on, no, Smuggy's 70 HP.
Lockdown
right?
off the plant, though.
No, Michael, I need you to relax. There's no way. There's no way, right? He's a little worried about the T. He's paranoid about the flank. No one's there. So they can just overwhelm, deal with the lockdown. And Smoggy's gonna get another hold on. It's a 1v2 and he's got an isolated fight. Smoggy! Oh!
Not even close.
This is a day 1 game, Mike. I can't be seeing this.
What the hell was that?
Switching sides.
Have you ever seen the stars align like that? It looked like it was about to happen, the most unthinkable. What an absolutely cracking attempt from Smoggy. Yeah, Zayda's credit.
Yeah, come on, guys. Yeah, so good. All good.
I'm not all good, Michael. I need a break.
After that second half, T1 put themselves back in the driving seat. A chance to close things out here.
Operator, right side, right man, 5 players against him. Would it be anyone else? Kankang's here. Can T1 handle him this time? Forced away further. Much better protocols this time.
Absolutely, utility much better from T1 here, but Kankang looking to slip back in.
It's still him. The flash connects. Oh, he gets body blocked. No escape. T1. This might be enough. The 3 other players are still so far. They've secured the site. The last 3 are on the flank. This is so much work for them. And EDG might have let it slip too far away. Smoggy on the trade, but they've got so many players to get through. 4 players in front of them. T1 turning the tides just as is needed. The trade wasn't clean enough. They needed that even smoother. The Smoggy tried so desperately in that last round. But the time is running away from him, slipping through his fingertips as T1. It took OT, it took all the rounds, but they get across the line.
History repeats itself for EDG. 14-12 loss here on Pearl. T1 able to close out, but what a series that was. What a crazy decider that was.
Welcome to Masters Tokyo, I guess, right? This is the quality of game we're getting from the very first day? Come on. Wow. Again, my heart breaks for EDG in this scenario.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can't say they didn't try their hearts out. They came into this doubted a lot, you know, questioned regionally. But they showed a fantastic game here up against T1, who dealt with a lot of issues throughout that game though, Mike, and the main one was KanKang.
Absolutely, like I said, you could see in some of these rounds that T1 are feeling the pressure.
Yes.
They're thrown off in terms of the game plan, in terms of some pretty basic fundamentals of how to approach a jet op crutch, basically, in the form of KanKang, but luckily able to close things out. KanKang, I think, finishing with 7 first bloods overall in the second. It felt like double that, to be honest with you.
Easily.
Smoggy as well, stepping up here on the Killjoy. You know, noted earlier on, a slower performance, I won't say quieter, but
no.
Sire player, man, Munchkin, especially here on the decider.
Yep.
Zeta and Ban also stepping up earlier in this series. Beautiful stuff here on the decider, Lauren.
I absolutely love this series. It was a little wild, right? Roll your mind back to Fracture. It was the biggest bloodbath I'd seen in a long time. Just kind of high tempo, I guess high risk, high reward throughout all of this. But
what's crazy is that felt like the cleanest map of the series.
It did. Yeah, it never stopped, did it, really? You roll your mind then into Haven. You saw that ridiculous from that man, KanKang. Such a highlight player, and I think, if anything, this is truly a learning curve and a lesson for T1 as to how to deal with that sort of pressure, because they struggled for a while, but in OT we started to see those glimpses of it, right? All that utility work, trying to deny him that space, just about getting them across the line.
Sure, and I think the benefit kind of is, and this is where you really do pay credit to EDG, there are very few teams that are able to actually apply that amount of pressure.
Yes.
Certainly not here in Tokyo.
No, you're absolutely right.
They definitely come away from this series with their heads held high. You know, it's got to be gut-wrenching for another series to end like this on Pearl.
Yeah, it just feels, I don't know if they could have done more, genuinely. I think it's very hard to sit there and review as on the fly. I'm sure the desk could potentially talk us through what they saw as a potential opportunity, but man, this felt just hard for Valorant. Every single player gave so much to this game, but this is the first game, really. This is the first day sort of game. This is ridiculous quality from these two teams.
Sure, yeah, T1 come away from this almost licking their wounds, right?
Yeah.
There's a real war of attrition across the entire series.
Seconds left.
Wow. Yeah, war of attrition is such a key phrase in this, because it doesn't feel like a good victory for T1, but they'll take what they're given. They do get the win over EDG, even if it's just barely.
It's not Irish. It's not English.
Oh, yeah. Fair, what is McCandless for the horse?
No, it's just, well, it's just piking.
It's like dags. Dags. What?
Yeah, dags.
Dags. It's like dags. Oh, dogs.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope that was enough time for you guys to recover a little bit at home. I'm just going to say it was not enough time for me to recover.
Yeah, my body feels heavy after that. I feel just fatigued. I mean, listen, the free match day, it does do a significant portion of that, but that match as well, that's stressful. Yeah. That's stressful.
That's definitely the best game that we've had in the tournament so far, and I know that seems silly because it's only the third, but I think it'll take some beating because it actually was a hell of a game. Unfortunately, my heart is just broken for the EDG players because it's the same thing. It's just reflections and resonances of what we saw when they played against 100 Thieves at Lock-In. Another 12-14 loss on Pearl after getting so deep against a good team, and they can't quite pull it through in the end.
Sad.
It's a, it's a heartbreaker. Sad. It is. That took me out.
So sad.
That took me out. I mean, you were giving me stress through osmosis this entire time. With Yintu and Ades. Yintu is the mega fan of Chinese Valorant as well.
God, I was getting
most sane Chinese Valorant fan. We're just screaming at Kangan for not having the op. But yeah, it's a heartbreaker for them, isn't it, as well? I mean, round 17 was one of the ones that we pulled, just in regards to all of this in terms of being like a real turning point. But I can't believe the composure of T1 to be able to just wrangle back control of the end of this map. It's just insane.
What I like about this, though, is that they take early A main control. They realize they don't need to push a jet opera away, so that means they can commit to the site, right? By the fact that they don't need to take that fight, it means that Kang is not there, and then they have Reckoning for post-plant, and they play this situation so aggressive. I really love the way that they work around that in terms of finding the info by there being no contest. Like, you know that the jet is not just going to be sat passive on it.
I mean, we pulled that at the time. We all thought that was it, right? That was over. T1 were going to close it out there. They didn't, but unfortunately, in overtime, it didn't even feel like they were a challenge in any shape or form.
No, and that's that extra element of composure that we were talking about, right? A team like T1, they've made so many resounding improvements over the course of this entire season. They've come here as well to play. They get tested like that. I mean, they're getting knocked around. I used the word ragdolled earlier, and they were getting ragdolled again for the entirety of the second half of Pearl. I mean, Kang was just running over them. Again, with the operator, it's the exact same tale that was being told on Haven, but they managed to bring it back as well. The composure's there. There wasn't too much nuance to the play, not going to lie. Still heavy emphasis towards the extremities at all times, but they got the job done at the end of the day.
I mean, we were harping on about how EDG are looking for their first win, but Josh, there's someone else on that stage as well that was also looking for their first international win.
Exactly, and this win will mean so much for Saya Player, because the last time that he turned up onto a global event, he wasn't able to get it done. We ran this graphic before, but I'll show you it again. When they came with the guard to Masters Reykjavik, he went 0-2, and this was with them being the top team coming out of North America. And you can just see what it means to Saya. He's quite a stoic individual, right? But when it comes down to his performance in the game, he went nuts. And I think that it's really going to be meaningful for him to be able to immediately rebound and have this win under his belt. He was the guy that was putting up the numbers, challenging, and not exactly having the direct head-to-head with Kang, but putting up the same kind of impact so that his team could win rounds.
Dude, who came up with Super Saya? That's incredible.
It's good.
I'm really mad that I did not come up with that. Oh my goodness.
And I think the end of the series of that Pearl map as well, when it got into the OT, was really telling of the state of mind in terms of Saya as well. He's buying the operator, he's playing aggressive, he's hitting the shots. And Kang, as an alternative as well, you look at him when he's playing that, he's backing away, or the Util's pushing him back, pushing him back, pushing him back. Saya has that confidence as a player in his own skill, his own abilities to carry the team over the line. And he gets his first international win because of it.
Yeah, not just Saya. Zayda been a while for him as well for his last international win. He is standing by with GB right now in the Verizon post-match interview.
All right, so I'm here and joined by Zeta, who just came fresh off of a big victory there against EDG. First and foremost, how was it playing in this atmosphere with this crowd and everyone going nuts? And it must have felt like a surreal experience.
Yeah, from my experience, I think the Japanese crowd, so far, they are like incredible, actually.
Yeah, they really are. We should do a Masters event in Tokyo every year. I'm just throwing it out there for the world.
Actually, we gotta run like every time.
Every time. I like that, baby. I like that.
I like the crowd. I like the game. Yeah, it's amazing.
Let's do it. I'm all about it. All right, well, let's talk about the game because this was a close match, and it felt like 6-6 half times, 1-1 going into it. Like, I want to hear about what happened between maps 2 and 3 when you guys lost map 2. You're refocusing for map 3. What was the coach telling you in the back, and what were you trying to tell the team to get yourselves back into it?
I think to get back to it, like our coaches and then me as a players, we all thought that like Kankan, the Jet player, was like playing really great, and then he just like hitting every shot, doing it. And then they're like side flooding, and the fast retake on Haven was really good. We knew it, but we couldn't close it out. So we just like mainly trying to focus on how to like deal with the Kankan like operator. So we trying to like focus on that on third map, and then we tried it, and then I think it worked.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the proof is in the results. You picked up a very, very big victory here. But you guys have been closely contested the entire time. Did you expect this coming into it, that it was going to be a close match like that? Did you feel like EDG was going to give you guys a hard time potentially?
Yeah, from our stream and our preparation, we've been playing against them a lot, but I think they're like every time we just like play the hard against them. So we kind of expected, but we obviously thought today a game gonna be 2-2-0. But we made a huge mistake, I think. So we just like went to the map 3, unluckily, but we knew they were a really great team, and then yeah, it happened, I think.
All right, well, tomorrow, you know, it's either going to be Energy, Na'Vi. Who would you rather play?
I rather want to play against Na'Vi because I already played the NRG guys like already.
Yeah, you've been there, done that.
Yeah, I want to try a new opponent.
Hey, well, Zeta, thank you so much for your time, my friend. By the way, did the whole thing in English, but also shout out to Jen for absolutely crushing it as always, a superstar. We'll send it back over to the desk to close out the day. Appreciate you, buddy.
Jen is just goated. I love her.
Just trolled.
I love her though. No, she's great.
I think that's a great final question though, because it also applies to EDG. Like EDG is still hunting for the first win for China, their first win, and now they have to play against one of NRG or Na'Vi. I mean, that is brutal, man.
Yeah, and again, tossed into the gauntlet, aren't they, with it? I mean, either one of those opponents is going to be really tough as well. They've got to pray that Na'Vi are still doing the trolling, I think, as well. Still on the Yoru cope or something, man.
They see Ned to play Yoru.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, we'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow. Speaking of that, let's take a look at the bracket after the 3-match day we had today, starting with Group A. If you guys look at this, obviously Na'Vi will be playing against NRG tomorrow. We talk about that lower bracket, but what do you guys think of T1's realistic chance against one of these two teams?
Extreme underdog, right? Extreme underdog. You're expecting NRG probably to come out of the match, but if Na'Vi go back to their form and beat NRG, I mean, that just shows that they're good enough. And whoever wins that game should be favored to make it out of the bracket in first place.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the Group B bracket as well, Brandon, see what you think about it here as well. Obviously, I think there was 2 games that was from Group B this time, so we already know it's going to be for ASE and DRX EG.
It's looking interesting, isn't it? I mean, DRX, I think, showcased... They didn't really sail through their game with flying colours for me. I mean, they didn't really pass all the marks. I thought that their map pool was still a bit shaky. They're having real issues in terms of the consistency with their roster. And EG, they look like a team unleashed. I mean, they're playing with so much confidence right now. Demon One's in the roster. They weren't even expecting to make playoffs at some point. They went into it as well. They made playoffs. They made Tokyo off the back of that. They wouldn't have expected to play with Demon One until last minute. Yeah. And I think it's so freeing for that team as well because it completely changed their goals in their mind. They went initially thinking, it's a holiday. It's all expenses paid by Riot, right? I mean, we're not playing with Demon One. There's no pressure on us. But now they've come into this and they're like, wait a second. There's a serious chance that we can do more than just some damage. We could potentially take it the distance.
Both teams didn't know what roster they were playing with when they came into Tokyo.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit worried about FA versus ASE, and also Liquid and Fnatic. They're just praying for their downfall right now because they're going to qualify for Champions potentially before they even step on the stage.
Which is a bizarre situation, but cool, kind of, so that it's actually got some real stakes 6 for foot.
Yeah. The burden of having 4 good teams, you know.
Oh,
you guys can't relate. You can't relate. But we're going to be back tomorrow for more Valorant action, kicking things off with a heavy hitter Na'Vi versus NRG, followed by EG versus DRX as well. It's going to be a big day. Make sure you come back, and we'll see you then.
Prime Gaming.
Oh, Prime Gaming post-match highlights. Run the...
After months of intense competition around the world, we can finally say it's time. The top teams are ready to face off on the global stage. Americas, EMEA, Pacific, and China. Everyone is here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 1 of Masters Tokyo, coming at you live from the Tipstar Dome in Chiba. 2 unlikely contenders find themselves in a collision course here in Tokyo. It's about to go down. Evil Geniuses versus FUT Esports. It doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, he is, and he's going to continue to go forward, but EG keeping him back.
Blocking sight.
We settle into a 2v2, the spam from Demon 1. Nice! Demon 1 tucking in his hook. He goes back up high, and every single blade misses. Eyes on Kong Cold, the spam, he had to respond with it, not able to get the kill. To keep the map alive in a situation like this, impossible. A Prime Gaming flawless to close map 1 for Evil Geniuses. But Busio may hold the line by himself. There's the spam that we were just referring to. In the face of the lockdown, Busio swings out and gets 4. Maj in an impossible situation, and the very first ace in Japan goes to Busio. Tension and ace, but Calm in the clutch. So good in America! So good in Japan!
The pig!
There it is, the swing. Busio's gone aggressive! Busio's gone aggressive, and he gets 4!
Yes! I'm so good!
EG Open Masters Tokyo with a 2-0 win over FUT.
It's quick, it's swift, and the miracle run continues.
Wow, both of these teams, we have one that's on a redemption arc and the other that's just here to get some experience, exciting stuff.
Plan goes down, and I am really feeling the heat, but all revealed from the haunt. Close to the side, just spotting the shoulder. Foxy9!
Beautiful.
Close plan positions, though. That's the aftershock to push them out into the open. It's up to Life to contain, and well, Sim flying down to the close corner. Foxy9, he's got to try and anchor. He's got one of his own. The ult, it connects, it lands, and just like that, shut down. And it's DRX. Listen, it's shaky. They do get that map #1 in a series. This way, that way, just up to Buzz. Fight's taken, though. It's a little bit disjointed. Dodged Buzz all the way round. Buzz nails the shot. Are you not entertained? Will there be the swing and a peek off of it? Yes, RB lands it. Mobility's being suppressed there. Life towards the side with a shotty, diffusing. Not going to be able to stick. Vulnerable, that 4 in a round, RB. Got 15 seconds left. One to the reposition, on for the ace.
Nice!
It looks like it's finalized, and that will do it. Series contained. DRX, they get the 2-0.
EDG, they are hunting for that first ever international victory, but their opponents, T1, are coming in hot.
Dangan's on the hunt here. He wants a little bit of blood to be drawn. Down to 6 HP. This has to be incredible. And it is. Nice. Try and maybe isolate him, though. Sire player holds him back, does the best he can. With very little HP, Sire player.
9 HP.
This can get so scary. Carpe does good damage towards Outdog, takes him down. Back to back.
Nice.
And T1 scrape through this game, Mike. The Paranoia landed as well, but he's going to come out of it about now. Smoggy does take down Ban. Sire player falls. Smoggy with a critical round there for EDG. Cage in place, and he gets a second of respite here as they close the gap. Another for Kang. This guy is playing it perfectly. 13-7, EDG. Fantastic form here from them. And Kang gets a couple of steps in, close to the gap.
Oh my God!
Absolutely nuts!
But EDG ready for it. Chichu found 2. Smoggy's found another.
Oh, they found them all! Only got that Spectre, but he does really well. T1 found Data. The spike now creeping towards the side. Ban's got Smoggy. This could be 12, and it is T1. It took OT. It took all the rounds, but they get across the line.